Kaydı da başlattım. Sen, kontrol sende.
Arkadaşlar zamana dikkat edin. Normal 3 dakika süre vermişler. Sen mi ayarlayacaksın?
Ben süre tutayım hocam, olur.
İyi, hadi bakalım.
Şimdi tam ekran yapmaya çalışıyorum da.
Tamam, biraz önce olmuştu, şu an oldu ama.
Yok, tamam. Ha, oraya öyle geliyor.
Ömer Faruk'un konuştuğu buraya yazılmamış.
Başlayabiliriz herhalde hocam, değil mi?
Evet.
Hello everyone, my name is Barış and my project is vowel classification in Turkish language. My project is about developing a model that can classify the Turkish vowels and can take an audio input from the user and map it on the IPA chart. IPA stands for International Phonetic Alphabet, which is basically a system of phonetic symbols developed and maintained by the International Phonetic Association. It has some unique characters. This one shows this one is the IPA chart for the vowels in different languages. So, for example, when user makes the A sound, we have to point the bottom right corner in the IPA chart. Project design plan. First, we will get some data using the ultrasound device from different people by making them say different sentences. Then we're gonna take the audio and image file, and we will do pre-processing. Next, we're gonna use different deep learning algorithms and train our model. After training the model, we will take the output of the model and put it on a server, and we will make sure that our application can communicate in real time with that backend service. This is the timeline of the project. As you can see, I've already started pre-processing, and we collected some data. In November, we are planning to build our model and train our model, and by December, I will start building the application. I've already talked about this part, so I can continue. We're gonna need at least 6 different subjects to get their data collected. We're gonna use Prod software to take the audio files. We're gonna use Python programming language and libraries like TensorFlow, Pandas, NumPy, OpenCV to build the model. And we're gonna use React.js and JavaScript for the web application. This is success criteria. We want to collect at least 6,000 labeled data for 8 different vowels. We want to get 90% of accuracy on our model, on test data, and we want our web application run in real time with the backend service, and we want to get a response for each request at least in 1 second. And that was it for me. Thank you.
So your web application will work on a server, or it will be it will work directly on the browser?
I haven't actually decided whether I will use a backend service or I will just use like a cloud provider, like a serverless architecture. I don't know.
Where are you gonna get the data from?
We are using the ultrasound device, and we combine the audio and the image data.
Any questions from the audience?
No question. Next student. Oh.
So that was a good presentation by Barış. It is very brief and to the point. Thank you.
Hocam bu yüzden.
Barış, after Barış, Elif Aynan, Esra El Yılmaz, Fatih Kağan, Hüseyin Ömer, Muhammed Bey.
Bulabilir misin?
Hi, I am Elif and my project is classification of lettuce seeds using computer vision and machine learning techniques. Here is the contents. Let's talk about project description. When people want to grow plants, they generally prefer plants that easy to grow and adaptable for all seasons and take a short time to germinate. However, it's difficult to know in advance how productive the seed they receive will be. Sometimes the yield may increase or decrease depending on the growing conditions of the seed, or the seed itself can determine the yield. In this project, a model will be developed that predicts how productive the seeds can be before planting. In this way, we will be able to learn the germination result of the seed without planting it. Here is project design plan. I will use lettuce seeds because it is one of the easiest and fastest plants to grow. First of all, the pictures of the seeds will be taken. Then we will grow the seeds. After that, seeds will be planted under the equal conditions and left to germinate. Classification will be made by extracting the characteristic of that seed from the seed images and looking at the germination results. Project requirements are taking pictures of the lettuce seeds, extracting hybrid characteristics of seeds using computer vision from captured seed images. Hybrid characteristics are size, shape, texture, and spectral characteristics of the seed. Classification using machine learning algorithms from the created hybrid dataset. Comparison of classification results. In this project, I will use computer vision and image processing techniques, then machine learning algorithm, and Python programming language. Here is project plan. After this week, I will start with collection of seeds, then taking picture of the seeds and start to process it. I will plant them, then after the second meeting, I guess application of machine learning algorithms will be applied, then classification results will be examined. Success criteria are, first one is classification of lettuce yield with at least 90% accuracy. Second is using a dataset created by taking pictures of at least 1000 lettuce seeds. And last one is output of classification result in less than 1 second. Thanks for listening.
Do you know how long it takes for a lettuce seed to grow?
Yes, after planted, it will be 1 week or 10 days.
From 1 week to 10 days, you are going to see the green.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see any lettuce seed?
Yes, they are very small.
They are very small. I don't understand your goal for classifying lettuce seed. What is your real goal to classify about this seed?
Yes, after plant the seeds, we will look at the how they grow, their tall is it grow or not.
How can you separate lettuce seeds after classification? They are very small.
I think we are going to use some kind of a microscope or something to take the pictures. We have the microscope.
Or we may change
we talked about
maybe you should use some microscope.
Beans, fasulye beans or something.
yes.
Maybe, right?
Maybe beans. But seed of lettuce are very small objects.
Yes, they are very small, but it is very too easy to grow. But we may change it later.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? I mean, maybe we can start all of them parallel with lettuce and beans and lentils, okay?
Yes.
Mercimek. And whatever goes better, then we are going to switch to that one. Thank you. Esra.
everyone, my name is Esra Yılmaz and my project name is Image Classification with JPEG Data. And my project is about image classification, and this is one of the most commonly used deep learning application in the industry. And image classification is the task of assigning a label to an image. For example, we give this cat image to the model and model says that this is a cat. And the difference from the classical one is that I'm gonna apply this model directly on the compressed images. And JPEG is one of the most commonly used compressed image format, and I'm gonna use that. Generally, people compresses images for the storage savings and for fast transmission purposes. And our aim is to modify this deep learning model by passing this time-consuming image decomposition step. And the design plan, first of all, I'm gonna make literature review, then learning the necessary deep learning libraries, and starting to apply deep learning models. After that, I'm gonna compare the and analyze of the results of the deep learning models, and creating user interface for the demonstration purposes. And after that, I'm going to prepare a report. Requirements, image classification dataset will be found, and deep learning models should be decided and implemented. I'm going to use CNN models. And software requirements, Python and Python's deep learning libraries, and the environment is Google Cloud. Success criteria, the average accuracy difference between RGB and JPEG models should be no more than -5% loss. The model JPEG is about 1.5 times faster than regular RGB images. And the last one is at least 30,000 data will be used. And that's it. Thank you.
Fatih Kağan.
So do you, what would be your models different from the standard models? I mean, you are doing image classification, and everybody is doing image classification. What is different in your case?
Normal image classification algorithms applied to the compressed images, then at the end deep learning model it decompressed this image, but this is a time consuming stuff, so I am not gonna do that. So it's gonna be more faster than the normal one.
So you are not going to uncompress the data, you are going to work on the compress. Okay.
Hi, I am Fatih and my project is optical character recognition from digital screen. The objective is to develop deep computer vision system that, given an image of a digital screen obtained through a camera, will locate the digital display and recognize the characters within the region. We have two different digital displays, 7-segment displays and LED dot matrix displays. Project design plan. First, digital display dataset will be obtained and labeled, and then the input image will be pre-processed using noise removal and extracting regions of interest. In our case, region of interest is LED display or digital screen. Once object detection model is sufficiently trained, it will be able to extract characters, and recognized characters will be presented. Project requirements. Digital display dataset must be created. The obtained data must be labeled. The data should be augmented to improve accuracy. Multiple CNN-based object detection models should be trained and evaluated, and the operation should be applied to video streams. I have some software, hardware, and data requirements here. Project timeline. In the first weeks, I'll be working on data acquisition and augmentation. And then I will experiment with different CNN architectures and object detection models. And then I will try some of the transfer learning techniques. And lastly, I will apply this to video streams. Success criteria. The system will reach at least 90% accuracy rate in terms of recognizing the characters. The model will be trained with at least 5 different digital display fonts. Given an image with digital display, bounding boxes should be drawn outlining the characters at least 0.7 mean average precision at 0.5 IOU. OCR system should be able to run on live video streams at 10 frames per second. Here's my references. Thank you.
So where are you going to get your data again?
I can either create it by myself using 7 segment devices.
How many different 7-segment devices?
At least 5 phones, I said, so I can use 5 different devices or.
Oh, you are going to use, okay, synthetically you are going to. So it's going to be a synthetic device.
No, I can create it by myself. I can create synthetically as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Omar. My project is Turkish text to user interface. My project is I'll take some input from the user, that it's gonna be text, and I will convert it to HTML document, and it's gonna be form. I'll take some input like isim, soyisim, telephone form or something like that, and my goal is convert this to as a form in HTML. And my design plan, I'll take inputs first. Then I'll reduce inputs to understandable text, understandable sentence. Then I will separate them. First I'll create CSS text and I'll create HTML text. Then I will merge them. Then I'll create a HTML document, but it's not shown in here fully. Okay.
So what it says at the end?
Create HTML document, which is at the end is one. And my requirements, taking inputs from the users, as I told you, a reducer algorithm for the reduce the text to understandable text, and merger for CSS HTML and creator for HTML. I'll use a Java language for this. And my timeline, at the 5th of November, I will able to create simple forms. And the next one, I will able to create forms with the good CSS, and I can change the CSS. Then we will have second presentation. After the second presentation, I will create a minimum three form choices, and I will choose one of the best one, and I will give it a result. Then final present and demo. And these are possible outputs, as I told you. And my success criteria is minimum 85% of components will be on the HTML page, and able to create minimum 8 inputs on the forms, and compare, as I told you, compare more than 3 possible forms and give the most occurrence one. Choose a minimum 75% of the colors as a user request, is CSS on the right or on the left or something, and create an HTML document at less than 30 seconds. This is my success criteria. These are my references. Thank you for listening. I'll collect all the data from the from my friend, from myself.
Okay. So can you go back to, how are you going to measure the first one again? The minimum 85%?
For example, let's say we will have 10 input and 10 input box, and let's say I create 17 of them, and I reach the 85% of that, because 17 divided by 20 it equals 85% the result.
I have an idea for this, creating your data set. You show existing HTML page to somebody and tell them to describe it in Turkish. Okay? That will be your description, and your task will be to produce exactly the same HTML document. So that way you are kind of, you can compare the original HTML with your HTML, as long as people describe it in correctly. Maybe you can ask a few more people, like 3 people describing the same HTML page.
My idea was taking some request from the user and show them, is it okay for your request? But this is the
This
opposite
kind
one.
of bias. This one would be more objective. I
Okay.
Show them the HTML page, simple one, and tell them to describe it to you in Turkish, and ask 2 or 3 people.
Three, okay.
Yeah, and then get the sentences and produce it to see how you are matching the original one.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir.
Ömer Faruk. Hello everyone, my name is Ömer Faruk Tikçioğlu and my project is speech emotion recognition using deep learning. This is actually a paper implementation, and paper suggests this sample. It uses an integrated circuit that takes input from humans in nursing home. It sends the audio data to the classification server, and classification server detects some emotions of the people and prints them nicely, so that doctor can see the emotions. Here's the details of the classification. It takes audio files and uses normalization techniques. Then we use data augmentation to produce more data with the existing ones, because the existing ones will not be enough. We will augment them, and then we will have a large data set. We try to extract features from it and send it to a deep learning model to classify into 7 different emotions. I already talked about this. We will use some Python libraries and a front-end library and back-end library. I hope to use a Raspberry Pi if I will have a time to for IoT communication. And last but not least, success criteria with Turkish emotion detection, at least a 90 accuracy rate, 90%. Emotion detection in real time, less than 1 second. And we will try to collect 10,000 data at least. It includes collected and augmented data. This model is capable of detecting 7 different emotions like calm, happy, sad, angry, fearful, surprised, and disgust. And that's it.
So how are you going to get the data set for?
We will get them from online resources like radio, theaters, and
But how are you going
series.
to mark them as like excited, nervous, funny?
It will be my decision.
It will be your decision.
Yes.
So wouldn't that be like subjective to your liking?
We can look at the results, and if it's correct, then
I suggest you mark them with 2 or 3 people, and they will mark it sometimes differently, and you wouldn't expect to match them perfectly. Nobody. So you have some kind of a. Otherwise, you have to match your preferences with your algorithm. That wouldn't be very difficult. That would be
okay.
So use more than 1 people.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shevval. My graduation project subject is the estimation of the pen stroke vectors from handwritten letters. Handwriting is the transfer of the signals sent by the brain onto paper, so it's one of the main features that show personal differences. such as DNA sample fingerprints. My aim in this project is to do an estimation of panstroke vectors from handwritten letters and use them for the person recognition. I will collect a dataset which includes handwritten letters from a group of people. Handwritten letter entries will be received from the user. The panstroke vectors of these handwritten letters will be estimated. The distinctive features of these vectors will be extracted, and with the algorithm I trained according to these features, it will be determined who the entries belong to from the people in the dataset. My requirements are, there are three important algorithms I have to develop. One is to estimate panstroke vectors from handwritten letters, and the second one is to find the distinctive features of the vectors, and last one is to do the person recognition with by using those features. And through the desktop application I will develop, the user will type a few letters respectively with the mouse, and those handwritten letters will be given as an input to the trained program, and through the program it will be determined who the letters belong to from the people in the dataset. I will use Python and LSTM model for the handwritten letter recognition, hidden markup model and estimation algorithms for the estimation of the panstroke vectors and person recognition. For the person recognition, I need a data set for from the people for includes handwritten letters. To train the algorithms, I need a data set from the people handwritten letters. Success criteria are using handwritten letters data from at least 150 people, 95% of correctness of the estimation of panstroke vectors from the handwritten letters, 50% correctness of person recognition using the features determined from the panstroke vectors of the letters. And this is my timeline. On the 14th of November, I will be done by the data sets and start to develop the model to estimate panstroke vectors. And by the 12th of December, I will start to develop the model for the find the distinctive features. And then by the 31st of December, I will start to develop the model to do the person recognition. And these are my references. Thank you.
So how do you think that you're going to find 150 people?
So from the school.
From school?
Yeah.
You have that many friends? 150?
I don't need to be a friend to ask for the help.
Okay. And how do you compare two vectors I mean, do they have to be exactly the same to the microns? I mean, how are you gonna, you said that you are going to match the vectors, right? The extracted vectors, your vector and the user's vector, to see if they are the same.
No, actually I will collect the data from the people, and then I will
extract it yourself?
Yes.
So how do you compare two vectors from the user and from your system? Do they have to be exactly the same?
No, they should resemble
Each other. Okay. So we need to be careful about that, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bir şey daha hocam.
Üç mü yok? Yok var orası açık.
Var mı hocam? Burası da açık ama. Şu mu?
Hello, my name is Sheda. My project is delay removal on television interviews. Delays can occur in TV interviews. When studio presenter questions a remote interview, they cannot.
Your title of project is different at this paper.
I think we changed. What was your original paper? It is beekeeping.
Arıcılık.
Arıcılık yapıyorduk hocam, arı bulamadık.
Kışın hocam.
Okay.
Marul şeyi bulduk da.
Arıyı bulamadık.
Tohumu ama arı bulamadık hocam.
Marul tohumu bende çok.
Arı var mı hocam?
Arı yok.
So.
Delays can occur in TV interviews. When studio presenter questions a remote interview, they cannot hear each other in real time. Therefore, the remote interview smiles while waiting to hear a question that the audience has already heard, because interviewer cannot hear that question right away. The aim of this project is to remove these delays. The audience should watch the video as if there were no delays and should not be aware of the delays. In this project, we cannot remove the delays before they occurred. As you see, there have been already delays in video. We don't show them to the audience. The video will be shifted from moment the delay is detected. So main operations is this project. Delay detection will be done through the video. The video will be shifted by the delay time on each delay detection. The video, how will the video work? The videos of the studio presenter and the remote interview will be taken as video, or take one video. It includes separate frames in studio presenter or and remote interview. The videos will be compared by looking at the audio and video. Delay detection will be performed on videos processing in parallel. When delay is detected, the video delay will be shifted by the delay time. A shift or delay time will be output, like the delay time is 2 seconds, 3 seconds. My success criteria is TV interviews with no delay. We can measure it because we can create the data sets ourselves. I have input and output videos. I compare them. 1 minute video will be handled in 1 minute. At least 100 videos will be used as data. Thank you for listening.
Sheda, you should inform Başak about your title change. Did you?
Okay.
You did that already?
Okay.
So you are talking about 100 videos, right?
Yes.
So how long are they going to be each one? A few minutes? You don't know. So it's going to be like 300 minutes of video. So where did you get that nice figure again? You showed me yesterday, but I forgot. Yeah, this one. Where did you get this? It is in your
First resource in article.
Applied Sciences, the traffic model. So they are not trying to remove the delay, right? They are trying to model it.
It's
okay, good. Dash law.
Şeyma
Hocam bu Şeyma'yla değil de Atakan'la devam edebilir miyiz? Benim hani birazdan ayrılmam gerekecek ya. Benim öğrenciler bitiyor şu anda. Onlar ben yokken yapsınlar sorunlarını. Ben sizinkileri dinlemiş olayım. Olur mu? Atakan sen gelir misin? Atakan. Benim öğrencileri en sona bırakalım arkadaşlar. Ben bir 15 dakika ayırmak zorunda kalacağım.
Hello everyone, my name is Atakan and my project is IT Event Management System mobile application. Here are the contents. There are some additions from Ibrahim Hoca, such as purposes and outcomes, similar products and planning. So imagine that you have a bank account and you use bank app
for buying some dollars or deposit some money, but you realize that the updated currency is not loaded or your account is not listed. This is a horror story for the bank because you don't want to use app anymore. Obviously, there is wrong with some services or databases. The bank should have had an application that warns the bank there is something wrong where and show the support team where the event occurs, what is the originate, what time the event occurred, etc. To achieve this, there are tools that monitor the status of servers, network devices and workstations, analyze the events taking place on them, and accurately present these analysis results to the users are required. So for these reasons, IT event management system mobile application will be created. Here are some simple scheme. The event occurrence is captured by the other system and record the logs to the database, and our system read the logs from that database, and the user able to list, search and filter events, viewing the analysis results of the events and with charts, and able to see urgent situations. Okay. So what's the point of using the IT event management system? Developers simply use logs to solve the problems, but the log is not enough. There are a number of drawbacks relying on the data alone. Some of them are disk space issues, extreme logging, lack of correlation data, and hard readability. Our purpose is to overcome all these drawbacks. An application will be developed that monitors incoming log data, separates and interprets these logs, and presents the analysis results of the user in a visually rich way. Here are the similar products of our system. There are functional requirements for the developer so that user is properly use the application. These are the non-functional requirements to develop this project. Firebase is tentative because our application might connect other database. Success criteria are listed. Our app must be lightweight, and events must be listed immediately. It should be a responsive app. Events should be separated with at least 10 labels, such as event ID, event time, event category, etc. There must be at least one chart for each event type. These are planning. I will complete the UI development and backend development and collecting or generating logs until the second meeting. Then starting log analysis and connection between backend and UI. And finally adding visualization tools and trying to meet success criteria. Here are the references.
Your success criteria are fluid. How can you measure these success criteria?
I can measure the response time from measuring queries.
About the third one, I mean, are you going to hand label them? Events should be separated with at least 10 labels.
I will read the logs and.
Okay, those are already measurable things. Okay.
You should redefine these success criteria.
Sorry?
You should redefine these success criteria.
Define them better, so that we understand the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Arkadaşlar herkes proje başlarının İngilizcesini başa bildirsin de böyle İngilizce Türkçe arasında şey yapmayalım. And don't forget you have only 3 minutes. Atakan, you don't have 15 minutes, just 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, it's Buket. Today I will be presenting my graduation project, which is the machine learning based intrusion detection system. As you all know, cyber attacks become one of the most important threats to governments, businesses and people, and efficient log analysis is one of the most important cases to understand the root cause of an attack. But in order to understand this investigation and do it, it requires a lot of manpower, computing resources, and to make an incident investigation more accessible, my project proposes a machine learning based event log analysis approach that identifies suspicious event activities automatically. There are basically three main parts for this project. The first one is analyzing the logs, identifying the suspicious events, and giving alert to the user. My project design plan starts with collecting the required data, pre-processing it, and after pre-processing the data, training it with the selected machine learning model and detecting the intrusions or the suspicions and giving alert to the user. There are different type of intrusion detection mechanisms, and there are different deployment levels. The first one is host level and the network level. In order to start my project, first I should decide on the whether I will be deployed on the host level or the network level, and decide on which type of event logs will be collected, because there are different types of event logs. And after deciding on that purpose, I will gather required data sets, including logs of both the normal behaviors and the suspicious behaviors, or we can say attacked behaviors. I should clean the raw data using pre-processing techniques and research and determine the best performing machine learning algorithm, because there are a lot of machine learning algorithms, but I should find out the best fitting algorithm for myself. And I should train and test the model with the tuned parameters. In other words, I should do hyperparameter tuning and classify the events whether they are intrusive or not, and give alert to the user if the log includes suspicious events. For myself, there will be no additional hardware needed, but I will need data sets including both suspicious and normal event logs. For example, DARPA has very massive logs for this project, and I am planning to use Python, Pandas, and scikit-learn, and I am planning to use Google Colab environment for the implementation. And as you can imagine, further knowledge of natural language processing and machine learning topics are required. I have seen some of the papers that are using the word embeddings, word to vect. Maybe I can use that natural language processing topics. And
Are you taking an NLP course?
Yeah. And my success criteria are having a machine learning model that classifies the event log as normal or suspicious with 85% accuracy, and giving alert to user if uploaded log file is classified as suspicious. And no one ever mentioned, but I'm planning to complete the project on time with a tested system. And here are my resources. Thank you so much for listening.
I found your second and third success criteria not measurable in terms of numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how do you you should give us some kind of a number. I mean, on time with a tested system, but I mean, you should give us some kind of a within this much of time, within this kind of accuracy, and
Okay.
yeah, I mean, giving alert to user if uploaded log files. I mean, this is not a success criteria. This is like requirement. Right? So
Okay.
you need to give us two more measurable success criteria.
Okay.
Also, you must complete your project on time. Otherwise,
Yeah.
You don't need any success criteria. You gotta get it out.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Murat Çiçek.
Emine'de değil mi sıra ya?
Buyurun hocam.
Emine'de değil mi Emine Esra?
Yok, burası değil mi?
Hocam biz sayesinde bir problem değil. Hi, my project is evaluation of the success factors of phishing attacks. I'm interested in this topic because of Kevin Mitnick. So, for years, as you better know, the phishing attacks is the most popular attacks of the hackers or bad guys, because if human exists, and these phishing attacks will continue to exist too, because it's targeting to human. So in this project, I will make a desktop application, that evaluates phishing attacks and rates their successes based on some parameters or criteria. So this is the statistics of the first and second quarter of 2022 phishing attacks statistics. So this is my project design plan. I'm starting with analyze phishing attacks, but planning to focus on successful ones. Then I'm find the criteria or factors that make these attacks successful. For example, mail headers or characteristics of sender's email address or email content, etc. After that, I'm planning to create an algorithm, exclusive algorithm, with using these parameters. Maybe I'm planning use a machine learning, but I have a plan B for the worst case scenarios in this manner. So after that, I'm planning to develop tool and making some tests, improve the performance or accuracy of the algorithm. So it's the similar products of my topic. Most of these AI-based and cloud-based systems. My functional requirements is firstly, I'm planning to parse emails successfully because of analyze and detect something. After that, collect requirement data from emails and execute my algorithm properly, create and managing UI and visualize results. In the test phase, I'm planning to handle my errors and fix the bugs. I'm planning to use Python, and I'm planning to buy some phishing email dataset from Rate Forum or Kaggle something. My success criteria is this. I'm planning to read emails successfully. For example, when I send 10 emails to my project and I have to read them all of it. After that, I display the success rate to users. For example, this email isn't safe or 85% safe, and my application should be under 100 megabytes. And this is my time plan, but I'm out of time, so this is my references. Thanks for listening.
Well, you must redefine your success criteria as
Show the criteria again.
You cannot measure these success criteria. You must redefine these criteria.
Okay.
These are requirements, these are not success. I mean, if you don't read your emails, then Ibrahim Hoca will give you an F. Your display a success to, I mean.
Okay.
And if you cannot read any of the emails, then that's a very simple thing to fix. I mean, are you going to use any machine learning stuff?
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to use machine learning stuff, but I didn't.
I mean, if you are going to use any machine learning, that means that you can maybe report your accuracy, right? I mean,
maybe it's the success
or
rate.
the time to run, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, success rate equals the accuracy actually.
And you are not the first one to do this success factors of phishing. I mean, there are other people in the literature. Just look at their papers and look at the experiment part and see what they are reporting as numbers.
Okay.
So use them as your success criteria. And success criteria doesn't have to be very tough values to meet. They're just values so that we can check them.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Nesra Karaosmanoğlu. My graduation subject is malware generator and library creation.
Malware classification. Is it true?
Malware generator and
Generation and classification.
and library.
And
Library. Kütüphane.
library.
Creation.
Why did you write your project
Yes.
subject on your
I forgot.
presentation?
She forgot. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot.
I was worried that your title is preliminary presentation.
Okay. When I look malware approach, metamorphic malware is attachment and the aim of the project is to create a virus generator and demonstrate the effectiveness of this generate malware against signature-based antivirus. The approach used when creation the virus generator is metamorphic approach. The malware is encoded and creates a malware file with a change signature. When the program runs, there will be a backdoor application waiting for a connection from a remote machine. Studying metamorphism from encryption and malware obfuscation strategies to understand the project. Examination of background working system of antivirus programs. Examination of metamorphism methods and selection of several. I use C programming language and website virus total. My success criteria, when I look the paper of malwares, I saw researchers tested the website of their malwares. The created malware is uploaded to a called virus total and tested by different antivirus programs.
Did you have a timeline?
No, I don't have.
So you have a single time success criteria with
Yes, because my project is generate a malware and there is a website. The website tests your malware for you different programs, different antivirus programs.
Well, we don't accept any excuses like I can't find any criteria. I mean, if you cannot find any measurable criteria, then it doesn't make it an engineering project, right? I mean, as an engineering project, we should be able to measure your success using some numbers. Otherwise, it becomes something else. So either change your project focus or talk to your advisor, talk to other people, come up with some criteria so that we can measure your success.
Okay, but I can say only a percent.
There are very nice methods to deal with persons. For example, ask their opinions or give them some kind of a survey and compare their responses and say that maybe 3 out of 5 will like it and that kind of stuff. So people are measurable too. So just if you look at it carefully, you're going to find it. But we need criteria.
Okay.
Otherwise, we wouldn't know how to give you a grade at the end of the semester, right?
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Sir, did you send me your presentation before this section?
I sent an email yesterday.
I cannot get your email.
For my call. Can I say after presentation?
You can you should redefine and write again your project details. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We cannot access your success criteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ibrahim, and my project is Internet of Things malware detection and prevention. And nowadays, over 24 billion of Internet of Things devices exist, and we are using that our home, and we are connecting them our Wi-Fi. And besides that, manufacturers, utility companies, and like supply chain organizations use these devices. And as you understand, the cybersecurity concept is really important on IoT devices. And the purpose is provide a security software for IoT devices. It is a system that you can connect your IoT devices, and after that it applies penetration tests to check the status of the IoT devices that connected. And after that it monitor the devices to ensure continued security and alerts the user if there's an unusual situation or a cyber attack. And for project requirements, I need to develop an IoT device to test it, and they can communicate. They should communicate between the computer and IoT device, and there should be an interface that I can display all the signals coming from IoT device and this sending signals. And another thing that I need to monitor all connection of those IoT device where you connect, and it should find weakness in IoT devices application, and it should do that before hackers do. And also it needs to check the security of the Wi-Fi network, and it should provide security against DOS attack and brute force attack. For timeline, the first thing that I need to design an IoT device that I'm going to check and control, and after that application and device connection, and then I design penetration test, connection map for brute force attack and DOS attack defense after that project over. And I need monitor sensor for my IoT device, and then ASP01 modula for wireless communication. And I'm going to use UART interface, and I need a TTL converter for that. For development, I'm planning to use Java because it is the most popular one for IoT devices, and you can write once and run everywhere. And then I need IFTTT web services. It is a service that you can communicate with application and those IoT devices. For success criteria, sorry about it, this page is from all slides, those are mistakes. The first one is that the ability of communication, IoT device, and my application in real time, at most like 1 second latency. The second one is defense against at least 20 DOS attack and brute force attack that I create. And the last one, because of this is an IoT device, the software should be lightweighted and like at most 100 megabytes. And there are my references.
What do you think about success rate for IoT malwares on IoT?
For malwares, I cannot decide it, but brute force and those I can answer that all of them should be provided. Because like authentication, but
for example, 90% or 95%.
It should be high because otherwise it can be used, but like 18, 90 is good.
So you should write this success criteria.
Yes, sorry about that. This is from all slides. I will send you again with numbers.
Go back. And, well, you said that you are going to define and to do success criteria. The first one is you said that you are going to do it in less than 1 second.
Yes.
This is success criteria, but second one and third one is like their requirements, right?
Yes, I'm going to change that. I said that defense against at least 20 brute force and those attacks that I will create, and the third one is the lightweight.
Hello everyone, I am Ahmet Bedir Uluçay. My graduation project is blockchain-based secure messaging application. In the early of 2021, a data security crisis emerged regarding WhatsApp. Concern has arisen among people with a new privacy agreement published by the WhatsApp team. People thought that their data was not protected, it was shared and used for certain purposes such as advertising. This leads to people look for a new messaging application like Telegram, Signal, Beep. In addition, it's not only companies that want to access this data, but also countries such as China, South Korea want to access such data in order to better tracking their citizens. Moreover, many messaging applications used today keep in central database. Even yesterday, WhatsApp has crashed. In this project, we will securely store people's data and add new features that we can describe missing in many parts. Decentralization, immutability, censorship, censor, resistance, and data security. In order to establish this structure, we will basically use the technologies, blockchain, smart contract, and cryptography. We will store data securely and unchangeable through blockchain and smart contract structure. We will make sure that messages sent or received with cryptography do not fall into the third parties. If you look at the project design plan, sender writing its message and encrypting with the receiver public key. This means that the only person who decodes this message is the receiver. Then the result encrypting with the sender private key. So the message will be sure sent by the sender. After that, some verification and computation cost. This message add to the current block. It will never change as it will be never change after the verification. If you look at the receiver side, receiver sees the message with the unique address, unique wallet address. Now process is reserved according to the sender side. Firstly, decrypt it with the sender public key, so it will show the sender side, send it by the sender. Then decrypt with the private key, so the only one can see the original message. Send your response to the go back to the right message. Project requirements. I have to encode the message asymmetric according to the algorithm we selected. Probably it will be the RSI too. I have to create the necessary block for new messages. Creating new messages have a cost. This cost must be provided somewhere. I need to research algorithm, unique numbers creation, or decryption, a list of smart contracts of the blockchain itself, and decrease the size of data so it's appropriate for the users. Project requirements. What do I need to do these requirements? These are the tools probably I will use this project to build. Solidity for the smart contracts. These are the tools probably backend side, and some algorithms. Success criteria for me. If two people can talk to each other without worrying about protection of their data, it's used as evidence in official business due to the immutability of the blockchain structure, because we can see a lot of fake documents or belge. People use easy to store their personal data. The people can send message itself, so it can store personal data, never can be accessible by other people. Keeping the message sending speed or below of the keeping the message sending speed at or below of the human physiology limit. It can be changed the center of censure, but we have caused some of the steps in the project, but we need to below the human physiology. If I can communicate with my environment through this application, I could be successful. These are my resources. Thank you for listening.
Can we look at success criteria again? I think we are going to say the same thing to you. You guys understand why we keep asking the same thing about success criteria? This is your promise to us. So I should have a way of measuring these, and people use it to store their personal data, how am I going to measure this? I mean, it is either 1 or 0. If it is 1, you already did your project. If it is 0, then you fail. These are not success criteria. This is requirement, right? Yeah. For the success criteria, we need measurable things, right? You might say that my project is different. I cannot measure anything. Then you are designing your project wrong. Okay. We should find a way to measure your success in terms of numbers.
Maybe, I think you should separate success criteria and requirements of projects.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed and my project is image-based malware detection. First of all, I want to explain what is malware and importance of malware detection. Malware is a harmful software that pretends to be a legitimate program to infiltrate the computer. It's installed in different ways, but the most common are...
Mohammed, you should send the title of the project to the Başak Hoca.
Yes.
Because this is figured on paper.
What is the title again, Mohammed? The title?
Image-based malware detection. Okay. It's installed in different ways, but the most common are phishing emails, fake installer, infected attachment, and phishing links. The volume, type, and sophistication of malware is increasing. The exponential increase in malware attacks has become one of the major threats to internet security. And this situation brings us to this question, why image-based malware detection? So, deep convolutional neural networks have lately proven their effectiveness in malware binary detection through image classification. In this project, a novel classifier will be used to detect variants of malware families and improve malware detection using CNN-based deep learning architecture. What is the expected output? Main assumption is that based on deeper architectures, different CNNs provide different semantic representation of the image. Therefore, a set of CNN architectures makes it possible to extract features with higher qualities than traditional methods. These are some related works, experimental results, but I'm not going into detail because there is no time. But my goal is achieving these results at the end of the project. And these are the success criteria. The model should be able to classify malware with at least 95% accuracy. The model should be able to classify within 2 seconds, and the model should be able to recognize at least 20 different malware families. And this is the project timeline. Until the first meeting, preliminary research will be done. The first presentation report will be prepared, and literature review will be done, and these are completed. At the second meeting, the dataset will be prepared, and some models will be implemented, and the results will be compared. At the final meeting, the model that gives the best results will be improved by fine-tuning. The model will be trained with the dataset and take its final form, and the model will be integrated into the web interface and made ready for use. At the demo, project report will be prepared, project demo video will be shot, and final version of the project will be presented. So these are the references. Thank you very much.
So that 2 seconds, how are you going to? 2 seconds does that include the formation of the image? or it is just for your model running time? You said that you are going to detect in 2 seconds, right?
Yes.
So where does that 2 seconds start from? I mean, getting the source data or just the model runtime?
Runtime. From upload the fotoğrafın modeli verildikten sonra geri dönüş alınan süreden bahsediyorum.
So how do you expect the other part of the process will take? I mean, how long? To prepare that data, how much time do you need? That's the image classification time is 2 seconds, right?
Yes.
How long does it take to prepare that image?
Actually, I don't know.
You know, I mean, it's not going to take minutes, right? It's going to be around seconds again. Who knows? I am asking you. You are going to do it.
I don't know.
You don't have an idea?
Yes.
But you are going to do it yourself, right?
Yes.
You are not going to find the images from somewhere. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mustafa
Hello everyone, I'm going to present today my project phone call fraud detection and prevention. I am Mustafa Gürler and these are my topics, and I'm going to talk about what's my project, what is the structure of project, and is there any similar projects, what technologies am I going to use, and what are my steps, and when am I going to end up this project, and what am I gonna achieve. This is my project description. And today's and 90% of people are harmed by frauds. My aim is to prevent fraudsters and warn users by using machine learning algorithms. And this is my structure. First, I'm gonna listen to calls and then record those calls, and then with speech recognition module, I'm gonna transfer these calls to text, and my models decide if it's a fraud or no normal call. And if it's a fraud, I'm gonna alert the user. And there are similar projects.
Is that your figure, Mustafa, or you took it?
No.
From a paper you
yeah, but
okay.
there's similar, yeah.
Okay.
Which paper did you get which paper did you get this
I had these references.
Which one?
Which one?
The third one?
Yeah.
No, not the third
No.
one.
You should write the paper name of the paper
Okay.
under the
Okay.
figure.
Okay. There are similar projects, but I'm gonna try different models to get the best accuracy. And if I can find a data set, am I gonna add the Turkish language for this project? These are my steps. I'm gonna find a data set for fraud call and normal call, and then I'm gonna translate these voices to text data and process this text data with natural language processing NLP, and find the best model by machine learning classification model, and bind this model with an Android application. You can see the this. I'm sorry for that. And these are the technologies that I am gonna use. These are Python audio speech recognition model, Java Android library, and Kaggle for gathering datasets, or Twitter. I didn't decide yet. And machine learning classification models can be changeable also. And success criteria, I'm planning to achieve at least 70% accuracy for any model. Minimum 2 different models I'm gonna use. Application properly listens to ongoing and incoming calls, and user needs to be notified in case of any scam. That's my timeline. I'm gonna end up this project at the end of December 25, and if you have any question, I want to answer.
Okay. Go back to the success criteria. Okay, good. You learned it, I think. He's smart. He's the first one that used that C.
Yes.
I was
Nobody
planning
took the C.
1 hour ago, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
third
fine.
one, application properly listen. If you don't listen,
Yeah.
then it doesn't work. I mean, that's success criteria. Users, I mean, it's 70% accuracy is good. Maybe you can say that if it's an application, then you might say that on an average phone, I am not going to take more than 30% of the CPU time or thing.
Okay, maybe.
If you say that, I mean, yeah, and I mean, your speed is important too. I mean, if you are going to inform the user after 2 minutes, that's not a
Yes,
valuable
I
thing.
need to take the sentence. I think so.
Okay. You said that if you can find the data, what do you mean?
Data sets.
What?
I need a data set
But
from
if you
Twitter.
cannot find the data, this project is
No, for Turkish language.
So you are
Just
going
I
to do
want
it for
to
English?
do it in English, yes.
I think you should make it for Turkish. I mean, I don't
but
know how you are going to find. Translate it.
Maybe
Translate it using translation stuff.
I try to use
and some of
Twitter
your
for
friends
that.
read it.
Okay.
Okay. Make it for Turkish.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Heather. My project topic is ransomware detection. Ransomware prevents users from accessing files or systems until some amount of money is paid. In this project, a software tool will be developed that warns the user about this. This is my project plan. While this page is open, I would like to mention my project requirements here. I am thinking using Python. First, I need to analyze file datasets statically and dynamically. Static analysis is to analyze malware by looking at its code without running it. Dynamic analysis mainly involves executing malware and observing it. Then I need to combine these results of combining this feature and applying a classification method by machine learning and train this model. Then the program decides whether file is ransomware or benign. If we look at the similar project, in general, such software is made using only either static or only dynamic. There is a ransomware vault tool which combines both of them. I mentioned this. These are my success criteria to achieve at least 75% accuracy for any model, alerting the user when ransomware is detecting, and to be able to give the file to be examined to the program as input.
We don't have to come back to this one. Second one and third one needs to be changed. We need numbers. Okay? Maybe time to run is a good one. Okay?
Okay.
And something else. I don't know. I mean, are you going to use machine learning?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe your data size. I'm going to train my network on at least this much of. So it would be your responsibility to find your data too. Just suggestions.
Okay, I didn't find it. This is my timeline, and that's it.
Sedef, how will you realize dynamic analysis? How will you realize dynamic analysis?
I don't understand.
Please show you second.
What is inside that dynamic analysis?
Dynamic analysis.
Okay, I run this malware from isolated environment and observing it.
Can you explain these environments in detail?
I look some libraries in Python. I don't remember exact the name, like sandbox executing environment, like that, and I think I can use it.
Do you think to realize some synthetic sandbox environment?
Yeah.
To make this analysis. What about sandbox?
Sandbox.
Do you know sandbox?
Isolated environment, like virtual machine.
Yeah.
Like kind of.
If your sandbox runs in safety, ransomware maybe penetrate to another machine and files. How can you protect ransomware malwares from the virtual environment?
I don't think that.
You should think this topics.
Okay.
Yunus Emre. Hocam Yunus'la beraber 7 kişi kaldı şu anda.
Efendim?
Yunus'la beraber 7 öğrenci kaldı.
Sizin dersin var hocam 2'de.
Evet, bize ders
Nasıl yapacağız?
Ya 30 dakika falan geç geleceğim diye bir sebep artık. Yani böyle
Hello. I am Yunus Emre. I am going to talk about event collector agent software. This is my context. Shaman description of the projects. What is the project? Monitoring and securing is main purpose of the project. Hardware and software events in the IT system by transferring information.
Yes, I'm sorry. Can we go back to the initial the title? I couldn't see. Okay. We don't have your title in the
Yes.
event collector agency. Okay. Thank you.
Hardware and software events in IT system, transferring information from different IT system to a main machine. Project design plan. In the host machine, there is a agent software, and this software collect the some events of this machine, and we have other base machine. In this machine, there is a database, and these all the device connect each other. Common network. I decided to transfer the collected events by IP and port, and there is a other point that projects collected events can be these events actually log operation. This log operation can be different or mixed or complex data, and I will try to parse this data for prepared format for database. Project requirements. Agent software collects the events, different code script for different log operations, connection C2 memory disk database logs. This log operation, as I said, different information, and I decided to use different code scripts. Providing a connection to port of the main and host machines, converting the incoming data to appropriate format for database, importing the collected event into database, different table and column for different events. For my agent software, in my search, I decided to use Pastil, logging and thread libraries. For example, Pastil net connection method collected connection logs operation info. logging file handle method is using for the system log operation. In the Unix, some log operation is storage in the var /log directory. I decided to use thread method for multi-threading all the log operation. Connection of the machine, common network. I decided to I find the two-way. It's socket library, IP and port numbers using the TCP and IP protocol, and
yes, I guess we can skip them fast.
Okay.
We don't sorry.
Converting data format and connection database. I use the MongoDB database. Success criteria. The agent can collect at least 3 events. Events must be collected immediately, less than 2 seconds. Connection between the system. As I said, I find the two-way socket library and PyMongo library. I compromise that and converting data format, JSON format. This is the timeline.
Last one is a requirement, not a success criteria.
This is the timeline. I decided to more than so much time the agent software because it's the desired part of the project. This is the references. Thank you for your time.
So the last phase of your project timeline, importing of the database. I don't understand what is involved in importing of the database. Why is it taking like a month?
Actually, I will do all things together, but I put this for the operation format of the timeline.
So you are going to do all of these things together? Not, okay.
Yes.
So what are we going to ask you in your midterm presentation? We will ask you questions, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you, what did you say about converting event format?
Yes.
Anyway, okay.
Yusuf Aslan. Yusuf Aslan burada mı?
Herhalde Yusuf sunmayacak herhalde.
Ömer Şanseroğlu.
Tamam. Kalabalık mı var?
Hello, my name is Ömer Faruk Erol. My project is automated prediction system, event log analysis and fault prediction. This is the project definition. Many complex machines are used for fast and automated manufacturing. These machines bring some problems with them. If the problems that may arise in these machines are not detected early, problems may arise in terms of both financial and time. Thanks to this project, possible problems that may occur will be determined in advance by analyzing the event records of the machines. This is the project draft. This is the design plan for data generation and logging. By analyzing the sensor data taken from the real machine, a simulation will be made that will create different values similar to the structure of this data. For data storage, the generated simulation data is stored in a database. For data analysis and results, data analysis is done with the help of the machine learning with the prepared data set. Error conditions are determined according to this analysis. Finally, the data created by the simulation is given to program and expected to detect errors. This is the project requirements, determining which features of the initial machines to analyze to reach the results, collection of data determined to be collected, clean the data, identifying faulty stations, using various machine learning models to achieve the best results, creation of simulation to generate machine data. needed to realize this project. Data type of sensors is saving data from machines. Data sets previously taken from these machines, a cloud platform to hold data, machine learning libraries required to analyze big data. There are three success criteria. These are generate mission simulation data in accordance with the real data. As a result of the analysis, approximately 80% success in error prediction. The errors identified as a result of the analysis will be presented to users an understandable way. This is my roadmap.
First and third success criteria should be redefined and improved because, for example, genetic machine simulation data in accordance with real data. These criteria cannot be success criteria. Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Şeyma Hanım. Efendim siz arkadaşlar.
Kaç kişi var?
Hocam 4 kişi kaldı Şeyma Hanım'la beraber.
Yok, daha az olması lazım. Kaç kişi bir parmak kaldırsın? 2, 3 kişi. Şeyma Hanım'la 4 kişi mi?
Evet.
Peki.
Hello everyone. My name is Şeyma. My project topic is using generative adversarial networks to generate novel car parts. My project is about generating image of car parts using the GAN method. In these days, creating new and original design is time consuming and costly in the automotive industry. So our aim is to reduce the design cost as much as possible and shorten the design process and generative original design. My design plan is firstly learning the necessary libraries and collecting the dataset. My dataset will include at least 30,000 images and then process the data and implementing the GNN model. After that, I train the model and generate the result. If the result is insufficient, then I apply the different GNN model.
Could you explain GNN model?
Generative adversarial networks.
How does it work?
I don't know deeply, but firstly, I give a real image, thousands real image. Then then it learns and generate the fake image.
According to your slide, 1, 2, 3, 4 GAN words, because you should explain GAN in detail. Okay. Please continue.
My time planning is next week. I start collecting the data set. It takes time because my data set is 30,000 images and I collect them. Images are the same size, so it takes time. Next, I implement the GAN models and train the model. My project requirements is software requirements, Python, deep learning libraries, and Google Colab. My success criteria is at least 30,000 dataset will be used, and image generation should take less than 2 seconds. And if 3 out of 5 people don't understand the difference between a real vehicle part image and generated image. Thank you for your listening.
You should review your success criteria with the, similar to the other students, because your success criteria are not measurable.
Measurable if 3 people doesn't understand the real or fake image.
At least 30,000 data will be used, because you should use some data for the project. This item does not success criteria. Cannot be subordinate.
I understand, but my data set is large and more good results.
You should think about the success criteria.
Okay.
Bunu söyle.
Hello everyone, my name is Yunus Emre Öztürk, and this is my project, Rubik's Cube Tracking and Solution Proposal System using Augmented Reality. These are my contents in the presentation, and this is my introduction. I will develop a augmented reality application to help people solve their Rubik cubes. It will work with AR glasses, and it will show where to rotate the cube to solve it, like this image. For example, using AR glasses, we will see the arrow here, and it will show the turn it to the right, and user will turn it to the right. I will use a cardboard for AR glass and a mobile phone. It's my project motivation. This is my project motivation. It will help speed cubers, students, kids, and if the project foundation can be used in education, sports, industry in later steps. Main part of my goal is it will help muscle memory for speed cubers. Speed cubers want to solve as fast as possible a Rubik cube. So instead of doing this slowly, they will learn how to do this fast enough. Instead of looking some book or picture, they will see the arrows in the cube, and they will do this. I thought about 2 algorithms to develop my project. This is my propose algorithm. It will propose a solve step. It advises the user about what next step will be, and I will develop a color tracking algorithm to track the colors on the cube, and Rubik cube tracking algorithm, because they change as user made a move. This is my project requirement. I use Unity game engine to make the AR application, and object tracker to track the cube, and I use OpenCV to process the colors on the cube sides and save it somewhere. I will use C# for solution proposal my system, and I can use Python if OpenCV for C# doesn't serve my task enough. I can use Python in a cloud environment or another computer. And this is my timeline. For now, I'm doing a proof of concept and research. Most of my time will be spending about AR-Cube color recognition and tracking system, and then solution proposal system development, and making application ready for a demo. These are my success criteria. I will try to achieve more than or equal to 10 FPS display with AR glasses. I will try to achieve high accuracy, 99% or more, like 99%. And I will try to detect different kind of cube. For example, this is a red, blue, orange, like this, and different colors can be used on the Rubik cubes, and my application will detect them too. These are my sources in this presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, not yet.
Yusuf Fatih.
Hi, I'm Yusuf Atishman, and my project is extraction of the article based of the verdict from law cases. In this project, I will extract the article based of the verdict from law cases that are Turkish and unstructured with using machine learning. This is a sample case from the dataset. I try to find shortest and most organized one so I can show you easily. In this case, the extracted article will look like the red color sentence. These are my motivations. First, law cases are long and unstructured, and this makes it hard to find similar cases. Lack of information extraction system in Turkish legal domain. And ultimate motivation is helping law students and lawyers to find similar cases with using this project. First, I will pre-process the law cases by removing blank lines and unwanted characters like hyphens. Second, I will annotate the law cases, and finally I train a sequence model with the dataset. These are my success criteria. F1 score will be about 85%. Information will be extracted from a file in 5 seconds, and 3,000 law cases in total will be used for train validation and test. This is my schedule.
Why 3,000 law cases will be used? For example, 5,000.
I have 3,000 laws.
Maybe 5,000. Why 3,000?
So what is the difference between 1,000 cases and 3,000 and 5,000? I mean, why are they different success criteria? I mean, if you write your program, it works, right? Doesn't matter if it is 1,000 or 3,000.
More is better, I guess. I'm using deep learning.
Yeah.
More cases will be better.
It will be better, but it is not a success thing, right? I mean, if you give it like 10,000, it works, and it gives it like 100, it works. And it works a little bit better with more data, but so why does it make it more difficult to run it on a more number of cases?
Part of my project is actually annotate the law cases, so I write.
You are going to annotate each
Yes.
of them. That's why it's going to take you. Okay. Okay. So why are you doing this again? Why are you doing this?
Law cases are long and unstructured, and lawyers try to find similar cases while preparing. And with this project, they can find similar cases.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ümit, and my project is Turkish spell checking plugin. And I'm planning to do Turkish spell checking in this project. Spell checking describes finding the spelling error in sentence. Many of you probably used Grammarly. My project will look like it, but it will not contain all of its functions. We'll find typos in the sentence and we wrote first, and it gives us the suggestions, and it will do it for Turkish. There are already enough English versions on the market. So how we do that? First, we need the spelling error data. For this, we will use Wikipedia edit history, but this data doesn't consist entirely of typos. So we will filter the data, then we will train some deep learning models using this data and compare them. We will write a web API using the best of them. And finally, we will use API in the browser plugin we will write. These are requirements. And here is my timeline. 3 weeks for data collection and filtering. 1 week for first model, 1 week for second, and 1 week for third, and third week for browser plugin implementation. Here's the success criteria. Our error detection accuracy will be at least 95%, and our API will respond in 1 second for a 50-word sentence, and we're gonna use 30,000 sentences to train. Here's the resources.
So you didn't tell us anything about your models, right? You said model number 1, number 2, number
I didn't decide which model I'm going to use.
So just give us an idea. I mean, what are the models?
Maybe CNN-based models,
or some other models. What models?
Maybe some CNN-based models, LSTM-based models.
So they are not going to be very similar to each other. They
Yeah.
are very different.
Yeah.
Or
I'm going
are
to
they
choose
the same
which one is
model with
best.
different parameters, or they are completely different models?
Maybe I'm gonna I can change parameters for all of them, and I can increase my model number. I'm gonna do parameter tuning.
So how do you find the data? I mean, you need some spelling errors and you need some corrections, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the data?
From Wikipedia's edit history. I'm gonna filter it with like if edit size more than 100 character, I'm gonna throw it. If maybe some distance, I'm gonna use some distance metrics. Maybe Manhattan. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
This one, the last one.
Bitti herhalde. İlhan oradan kaydı nasıl alacağım?
Hocam ben size OneDrive'dan paylaşsam.
Tamam, OneDrive'dan paylaşsam ben oradan şey yapayım. Biraz burada mı?